Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Beth, also known as Bemmy's Bookshelf, and today we are getting through my TBR. I need to get through my TBR, so we're going to be doing a little bit of mood reading because I am an avid mood reader. I never have any idea what I want to read. I do also have a new reading setup, as you can hopefully tell. I've got my lovely new reading couch with some gorgeous new plushies on it, and we're just gonna get cozy, comfy. It's raining today. I'm sad today, so it's like perfect reading mood. I've got 2.5 hours until my sister and my nephew come over, so I've basically got 2.5 hours of uninterrupted reading time. And at the moment I'm reading Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Mellors and really enjoying it. I am 209 pages through, so I'm hoping to finish this, if not now, then definitely either later on or tomorrow. But this is the first book we're going to start with, and then obviously we'll see what we're in the mood for next. I'm aiming to read 3 books in this video, but I just really need to get through my TBR because my Fable app said that I need to read 9 books per month to hit my reading goal, and my average has been 4 books a month. So am I going to do it? I really hope so. It's the 10th. So I've still got 21 days of the month. I've only finished 1 book so far this month, but 21 days, I can maybe read 8 more books. I've been filming 5 minutes and I've done absolutely nothing. Don't know if I want to watch Gilmore Girls. I just downloaded CapCut on my phone and I'm like doing all of the templates and the trends, and I'm just having a fun time. Bloody reading now. Let's get cozy. I actually need a cushion behind my back. Because although this sofa itself is comfy, the arms aren't. I've also got a comfy blankie. Although it's quite warm, I don't really need it, but for the vibes. For the vibes. This pillow isn't very comfy, I'll tell you that right now. It's a bit too big. Oh, why can't I get comfy? I should probably tell you what Cleopatra and Frankenstein's about, shouldn't I? So it's about Cleo, who is 24. She moves from England to New York. She's been living in New York for 3 years, 2 or 3 years. And on New Year's Eve, she meets Frank, who is 44. And they basically get married so that Cleo can get a visa and live in America for even longer. And it's basically just sex, drugs and rock and roll without the rock and roll. That's all I can really... It is just sex and drugs. I had no clue what this book was about. I'm not gonna lie, I actually thought it was about Cleopatra and Frankenstein. It's not, but you know, it's just as good as I imagine that would have been. I'm having a great time. The characters feel very real. I haven't read a Sally Rooney book, but all the reviews I've seen have said that this reminds them of a Sally Rooney book, so if that's your vibe, then this will probably be your vibe. Frank is being a bit of an ass. I liked Frank, but now I don't like Frank. I haven't liked Frank for a few chapters. Another thing about this book, if you don't like long chapters, you won't like this book, because like I said, I'm 209 pages in and I'm only on chapter 11. That's almost 20 pages per chapter, which is a lot. I feel so awful for Cleo. I can tell you want me. Anyone else ever, when they're kind of like mood reading, you're halfway through a book and you're already thinking about what you're going to read next, because that's how I feel at the moment. And I am filming a reading vlog soon and I'm going to be reading horrors for a week. Scary, because I actually have quite a few and I've never read a horror. So I want to read some and then I'll post it like around Halloween, but you'll see that soon. I expect this will be up first. Knowing my editing and my scheduling, it won't. I don't really know. I've just been speaking to my camera for literally like 3 minutes without realising it's not recording. It's 7:25. I I'm in the same position as I was 3 hours ago. My back hurts, but I finished Cleopatra and Frankenstein. I think I'm going to settle on a 3.75 for this one. It was a 4-star up until the last 2 chapters. They were so boring. The last 2 chapters I just skimmed. Like, when I say skim, I mean quick skim, because I was so bored. There's a character in this book. She only has 2 chapters, but I'm not interested in her in the absolute slightest, and so didn't enjoy the end of this book, but it is what it is. 3.75 stars is still a good rating. I enjoyed the whole story up until the last 2 chapters. I really liked Cleo, and I didn't really like Frank that much. I did like Cleo though, and I hated every other character. Like, I can't lie. Actually, there's a character called Santiago. I liked him, but I didn't like any of the other characters, and I think that's the point. There's not much I can say obviously on the ending because I don't want to spoil it, but what I will say is that I was in my granddad's house the other day and he asked what I was reading. I let him read the back, and the first thing he said was that it's going to end in tears, and he was correct. It didn't end in tears for me. Oh, I don't think this is a spoiler because I know some people like to know this before going into the book, but this is not a book with a happy ending. And, well, I suppose it depends how you look at it. For me, this book didn't have an happy ending, but for somebody else reading it, it could have had a happy ending, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm settling on a 3.75. This is a literary fiction, which is a genre I don't often read, or a contemporary fiction. It's not a genre I read too often, but I enjoyed it and I would definitely recommend it. I'm excited to read Blue Sisters because I picked that up at the airport last month, and if it's, you know, got the same writing style as this book, then I'll definitely enjoy it because I do really like Coco Mella's writing style, and I think this is a debut novel, which is brilliant if it is, because her words in this book were actually really lovely and heartbreaking and soul-destroying, but lovely. I just didn't really enjoy the last 2 chapters and skim read them. It's 25 to 8, so I don't know if I will read another book tonight. If I do, you will be the first to know. The problem with being a mood reader is that I never actually know what I'm in the mood to read. It's October, so I'm thinking a thriller or a fantasy, but thrillers are quicker to get through, and there is another video I want to film. So I've got 2 short thrillers here. We've got Sleepless by Romy Hausman and The Perfect Sun by Frida McFadden. I don't know what either of these is about, but maybe I'll just go with whichever one's shorter. 305. It's 306, and this one is 321. Let me read the back. I'm going to read this one because I do love a Frida McFadden and I get through them so quick. So we're going to go with this one. I'm back in my favourite position. I have got half an hour of uninterrupted reading to do now before I go for a walk with my friend. It's 20 to 5 and I need to leave at about 10 past. Well, I need to leave at 15 so I've put my alarm on my phone on charge for 10 past 5 and I'm just going to read for half an hour until then. I've got my trusty little book sleeve. It's Akatar themed. How gorgeous. Anyway, so I keep my Kindle in this part here and I've got my book. Oh, fantastic. My book in the big section here. I'm literally just gonna sit and read. I only read a whopping 8 pages yesterday, but we're still reading The Perfect Sun, not The Perfect Child, Perfect Sun. And I'm just trying to take this sticker off because I hate these stickers with a passion. At least the Works ones come off easy. Look at that, Houdini. I feel so like, yeah, today. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like all weekend I just want to sit and read and do nothing else at all. I've just thought the back of this book says that the woman that narrates this book, Erica, thinks her son may have killed one of his friends at school or something. And anyway, so it says teenage son, but because of this picture, I just assumed maybe it was like a 13-year-old little boy, even though that child in that picture literally looks about 6. But I thought, oh, maybe it's like a 13-year-old little boy. But this boy's 16 with a driver's license, and he's being like coddled. I don't know where I was going with that. I was just not expecting him to be older than like a child. Like, I know 16's still a child, but do you know what I mean? I'm really confused because The mum, in her inner monologue, she 1 minute goes on about how much of the perfect son Liam is. He's amazing, he's always on time, he never has to be asked twice to do anything, he's neat, he's tidy, he's great at school, like he's the perfect child. But then in the next sentence, she's like, oh God, what's Liam done again? And, oh, I need to protect this person from Liam. And, like, you can't be both, babe. Like, which one do you think he is? Because he can't be both.
Take it out, I can tell you want me. Turn it up, I can show you how. Take it out, take it out.
This is literally me. One thing I have in common with Liam is that casual physical affection makes me uncomfortable, and that's something I also have in common with Liam, because I also do not like casual physical affection. People can't always be too perfect. I feel like everyone else is real, like they're really living life, but Liam is like this actor who is being paid to hang out with us. I feel like I don't trust him entirely. He's a phony. All this drama about this 16-year-old boy. I'm really not attractive when I read. And I feel like if I sit like this for much longer, my neck will be cricked, but for right now, it's comfortable. I promise I am not the grandpa from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I do stand up once in a while, but it's the morning and I want to sit in bed and read today. Good morning. I'm still reading The Perfect Son by Frida McFadden. Last night I read up to page 90 and I'm enjoying it so far. It's flying by. I reckon I can finish this morning. Well, maybe not this morning. What time is it? It's 10:30. Could I possibly finish this in an hour and a half? Potentially, if I just don't stop. I do really want to finish this. Well, I know I'll finish this today because it is so short and it's so quick to get through, but I'm enjoying it and I'm gonna read. Mug of the morning. Oh, you can't see that side. Can you see? It's Hello Kitty.
Tell you want me. Tell you want me. Tell you want me.
I'm really curious as to what he's done to his previous girlfriends that is making his mum feel so on edge about him having any relationship, seeing as he's like the most perfect, amazing son, but she just cannot and will not stand for him being in a relationship. But it's not like the overprotective mum, I don't want my son being in a relationship, you're too young, or mummy's boy kind of thing. It's literally like, this girl will be in danger, and I'm really curious as to know why. Also, I haven't rated a Frida McFadden book 5 stars since The Housemaid, and there was nothing. I wasn't going anywhere with that, actually. Something I love about Frida McFadden books is they literally feel like you're watching a movie, because they fly by so quick that it feels like I'm just sat here for like an hour and a half and then the whole book's done. I'm not even halfway yet, but I do know that's how I'm gonna feel, because that's how I feel when I read all of her books. They just go so fast and you can literally picture everything. I love them. I just had to take a break from reading because I've just applied for a Waterstones Christmas temp job. Everyone hope and pray that I get it. Let's all just sit for a second and pray that I get the job. I mean, by the time this video's up, I'll probably already know, so I can just here. Oh, I really hope I get the job.
I can tell you want me. Turn it up, I can show you how. Take it out, I can tell you want me. Turn it up,
That does not sound enough time to cook chicken nuggets. That's fucking disgusting.
And in the microwave. Well, I love it when books have this at the end, like a reading group guide, like questions from book club.
Oh yeah, it's cute.
Well, I'm done. I finished The Perfect Son, but I don't actually know what I want to read next. I do want to read now though, because it's still only 5:30, so I've got the whole evening. But I've just been on my Fable app, and they have this thing called Ask Scout, and he's like a cute little birdie. And he literally tells you what to read. You know how people do the asking Siri or asking Snapchat AI? This is actually a reading version. So I'm gonna get him to choose me a book. He says, "Hi there, I'm Scout, Fable's in-house curator. Let me know what you're in the mood to read and I'll fly through our library to find you some recommendations. Full disclosure, I'm in beta, which means I'm still finding my wings. I'm best at finding books based on criteria like topics, tropes, mood, character, attributes, similar books, and more." Shall I type in a fast-paced book, please? He's working his magic. Oh, happy to help. What types of books are you in the mood for? I don't know.
No, I do.
A thriller or mystery, please.
Oh yeah.
Oh, now that I'm doing this, you know what? I probably could read The Inheritance Games.
I was gonna see if you'd read them or not. 'Cause
No, I haven't. Okay, so I asked for a fast-paced book, a thriller or a mystery, and he's given me lots of options. The first one being The Secret History, that I don't think is fast-paced. Gone Girl, Girl on the Train, Perfect Marriage, The Last Thing He Told Me, Then She Was Gone. I've got The Last Thing he Told Me. I'll have a look and then I'll decide. I finished The Perfect Son and I'm going to give it 4 stars. I will put my full Goodreads review up here because it's quite late at night and my mind's a little bit foggy, but I did enjoy it. It wasn't my favourite reader book. It was very fast paced. The plot was good. It was just very predictable. I guessed actually every single plot twist that happened, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, it wasn't one of those plot twists where when it was announced I was like, for God's sake, I knew it. It was more like, oh yeah, that makes sense, and there probably wasn't any other possible situation anyway. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was just a quick, easy read. I read it pretty much all in one day, so add that to my October reads. I've read 3 books now this month, and I don't know if I mentioned, but I've started a series on my TikTok. If you aren't following me over there, please do, where I'm not buying any more books until I read 20 off my physical TBR. That is a challenge for me because buying books and reading books are 2 separate hobbies, and I am a massive culprit of buying too many books and not reading them. So I've set myself a challenge to read 20 books on my physical TBR before I buy any more. People buy books for me. I can't do anything about that. That's not a me problem. But I cannot spend my own hard-earned money on books. And 20 for me is a lot, seeing as I've only read 50 books this year so far. 20 books is like almost half a year's worth for me. But my reading goal for the end of the year is 65. So will I be buying books for the rest of 2024? Maybe not. Does that also give me motivation to read? Yes, it does. So as you saw earlier, I was choosing what book I was going to read using the Fable Scout AI thing, and I asked it to choose me a quick, fast-paced thriller. Anyway, I completely scrapped that and I started reading Reckless by Lauren Roberts, because tomorrow I'm actually going to an author talk with Lauren Roberts, so I thought I should probably start reading Reckless in case she says anything that could spoil the book for me. I mean, I'm not going to finish this by the time I get there tomorrow. I'm literally 20 pages in. But at least I'll have some knowledge. Do you know what I mean? So I started this and I'm enjoying it so far. I'm happy to be back in this world because Powerful absolutely destroyed me. Powerless wasn't my favourite in the world. I gave it 4 stars. But Powerless is one of my favourite reads this year. Powerful is one of my favourite reads this year. So I'm really excited to read it. Watching Madison Kate, my fave YouTuber. If you don't watch her videos, then you should, because she's actually incredible. And I'm reading Reckless in bed. It's a really sunny day, well, it's about 5 o'clock. It's a really sunny evening, but I'm tired, so I'm just gonna lay in bed and read whilst I watch Madison's 24-hour reading vlog. Oh, I went and saw Lauren Roberts yesterday. She didn't sign books, unfortunately. Actually, let's talk about this because it was a really poorly organised event. I won't say what the actual event I went to was called, but it was Lauren Roberts talking with 2 other authors, and it already said anyway, which I didn't realise, that she wasn't signing books, but there would be pre-signed books by Lauren Roberts available, but the other 2 authors were signing books. Anyway, it was a sold-out theatre. When we left the talk, we went to go get, obviously, our books signed or purchase Lauren's books, and we were probably halfway in the queue. Not even that, we were on the closer side to the front of the queue. And by the time we got to the front, actually a few people before us, all of Lauren's books were sold out, and one of the author's books, all of his were sold out, and there was like 10 books left of the other author's books. And I just thought it was really, like, poorly organised. I understand, obviously, Lauren, she's coming from America, she doesn't have time to sign enough books for everyone, fine, but maybe the event organisers should have said, because obviously she had all 3 of her books signed, maybe the event organisers should have said, right, we don't have enough for everyone to buy the whole series, you can only buy 1 signed book each. That probably would have been a bit better, but I did get 1 signed book, so it was okay. But yeah, anyway, the point I was getting at was that Lauren has said she's writing a duology next, because she said duology is the perfect length for a series, so she's going to be writing a duology next, and she really wants to also write a fantasy thriller. So I've not read one of those before, but it sounds interesting. But yeah, I'm reading Reckless, and I am very not far through. I'm 22 pages in, and I'm enjoying it. I hope I get through it quicker than Powerless, because when I read Powerless, it took me like 6 weeks, because I wasn't really in the mood, but I'm hoping that I get through Reckless really quickly. She's back on the sofa, everyone. I tried reading on my bed yesterday and I fell asleep, so we're back to the sofa. I've got Pinky Pig with me, my gorgeous squishmallow, and we're still reading Reckless. You know, the thing, right, is that this is obviously a mood reading vlog, and all I can think about is the video that I'm filming next, and I'll just tell you because it doesn't matter, but I'm filming a reading horror books for a week for like kind of Halloween, and that's all I can think about. Yeah, you're probably thinking, well, why don't you just start reading them then? This is a mood reading vlog. Pause this vlog and start the other one. I don't like doing that because I only have 1 memory card or SIM card. Memory card? What's it called? Memory card? SD card, and it stresses me out having to like sort the clips out. So we're powering through and reading this. It's actually really good. I'm really enjoying it. I'm on page 64. I'm on Kai's POV right now, and that's it really. Let me show you my new jumper. I've also got a cup of tea, and I'm also going to move the camera. That's better. I've got my candle lit. I've got my cup of tea, my Magnolia Parks jumper. Literally, what more could you want in a mood reading vlog? Nothing. Let's read. Kai is really having a hard time right now. I'm obviously not going to spoil anything, but if you don't want to know anything at all, I'll put a timestamp here. So Payden does something in the first book that in Kit and Kai's eyes is unforgivable, and Kit, being an enforcer, is now set out to hunt and kill Payden, and he's just really not loving the fact that he has to do that. And he's like, if she's hurt, I need to be okay with that. He's talking about how he's accidentally letting her go. Yeah, he's not loving his life right now, having to do this, because obviously he's the enforcer for the king, and the king's like, you need to bring me back to her alive, is what he wants. I've got chocolate on my jumper. I just finished Payden's chapter, and she's basically just about to encounter Kai, and then that was kind of the end of the chapter. It goes on to the next chapter, obviously I'm assuming it's Kai's, and I'm reading it and I'm thinking, what? This doesn't make any sense. As it jumped to 2 weeks, and I'm like confused. Anyway, it's Kit. So we've got Kit's chapters in this book. Interesting. It's very confusing because of the font, look. You see what I mean? Easily mistaken with the word Kai, if you ask me. I finished Reckless by Lauren Roberts. This was meant to be a mood read with me for the week, but it's turned into like 3 weeks because for some reason I cannot get through Lauren Roberts books quickly, which is fine because it was a mood reading vlog. But it's now like the 27th and I've only read 4 books, and my Fable app says I need to read 8 per month to hit my reading goal, so it's just simply not good enough. I rated Reckless 3 stars. It wasn't my favourite, I can't lie. Everything from here to here, and I'm not being dramatic, was just nothing. Like a whole bunch of nothingness. It was just unengaging banter is kind of how I can describe it. There was just nothing going on at all. It felt like a filler book. I obviously can't tell you what this book's about because if you haven't read Powerless, you won't know what this one's about. I gave Powerless 4 stars and I gave Powerful 5 stars. So I was really hoping for a strong follow-on when I read Reckless, but it just felt so flat to me and I'm so gutted. Like, it was all just the same up until this point. This whole book was just the same over and over again, and I just didn't understand the relevance. We did get Kit's POV, which the first bunch of chapters of him were just irrelevant, but the final couple were, you know, informative. Lauren Roberts apparently has said that this book is quite slow and it's needed for the final book, which I think is called Fearless, but I just felt like this felt like a filler book. And there's nothing wrong with filler books. I understand why they need to be there, but it didn't need to be 390 pages. It could have been, honestly, 200 pages less. And I know that seems harsh, but there was nothing in this book that couldn't have been said in under 200 pages, honestly. The last, like, 15%, there was a load of revelations that got brought to light that actually made me really excited for the next book. Everyone was really shocked by the final twist of this book. I just thought it was annoying. I'm not gonna lie, if you've read this book then you'll know what I'm talking about, but I just thought the final twist, like as in like the last couple page twist, was just annoying. Like I just felt annoyed by it. To be honest, I'm really excited to read the next book, but if I have to read half a book of a situation that happened in the end of this book, then I'm really not interested. Without spoiling anything, just so you guys maybe understand, it reminds me, the end of this book reminded me very much of the end of A Court of Mist and Fury. That's all I'll say, but if you know, then you know. But anyway, I gave this 3 stars, and let's just do a quick recap of the other 2 books I read. So I read Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Mellors at the very beginning of the vlog. I think I gave this 3.5 stars. Again, it was kind of the opposite to this book, where I really liked everything up until this point. And then we had The Perfect Son by Frida McFadden. I gave this 4 stars, as I said. This was really good. It was just a typical popcorn easy thriller, and I can get through Frida McFadden's books really quickly, so if you are looking for just a quick read, then this will definitely be good for you. That is all from me for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!